Adventure Bay, the friendliest town on Earth. The air was calm and the sun shined brightly. Every town has a hero, but in Adventure Bay, these heroes were puppies. 6 heroic pups. The team itself was called the Paw Patrol. Their names were Marshall, Chase, Rocky, Zuma, and Sky, and their owner, a 10-year-old boy named Ryder. These pups were probably one of the nicest group of puppies in the entire world. They would always help a friend in need and would never let anyone down, never make a smile disappear from anybody's faces. Everything was just perfect. Until one day, though. The pups were playing soccer outside of the lookout. "Pass it to me," said Rubble, calling Chase, who had had the ball. "Okay," said Chase, passing the ball to the English bulldog. "Over here, I'm open," said Marshall, calling Rubble. Rubble kicked the ball to Marshall, and the Dalmatian ran to kick the ball, but ended up tripping over it and tumbling on top of Chase. "Oops, sorry, Chase," Marshall said, looking down at the German Shepherd, who had a slightly annoyed look on his face. The two pups laughed, and they continued to play their game. Zuma had the ball this time. "This is my Zuma-wific deluxe kick," said the chocolate Labrador, running towards the ball. He kicked, and it went past Rocky, who was the goalie. "Goal!" said Zuma, doing a victory dance. "Hey, no fair, I wasn't ready," said Rocky, upset. "Rocky, it's just a game. You don't have to be mad about it. Come on, let's keep playing," said Zuma. Okay," said Rocky, passing the ball back to the pups. The pups continued to play, and then Zuma got the ball and used a special kick to kick the ball. And again, the ball went in the next. Now Rocky was getting a bit pissed. "Zuma, stop cheating," Rocky said, raising the voice at the chocolate Labrador. "Hey, I'm not cheating," Zuma said, annoyed. "This is the way soccer's played." "That doesn't mean you have to kick it so hard," said Rocky, glaring at Zuma. "If you were going to be a big baby over it, then just go," said Zuma angrily. This made Rocky even more furious. "What did you just call me?" he said, stomping towards Zuma. "I called you a baby. That's what," Zuma growled. "You son of a bitch," Rocky said, his eyes filled with utter rage. The pups gasped as they had just heard what Rocky had said. Zuma blinked a few times before saying, "Dude, just go," he said, pointing his paw towards the lookout. "Fine," said Rocky, storming off. "But just let's say one more thing. Our friendship is over." "Sounds good to me," said Zuma. "Zuma, are you okay?" asked Sky. "Oh, I'm just great," Zuma said sarcastically. "Don't you think you two are a little bit hard on one another?" asked Chase, raising an eyebrow. Zuma gave a small grunt at that statement. "Well, he started it. If he didn't have to complain over a dumb game, everything would have been fine." "I'm gonna go talk to Rocky," said Marshall, running to Rocky's pup house. When he got to the pup house, Rocky was laying in it, face buried in his front legs. "Rocky?" said Marshall in a small and quiet voice. Rocky looked up, his eyes bloodshot with tears. "What do you want?" he said. "I just want to talk about Zuma," said the Dalmatian. Rocky got up and got in Marshall's face, the mixed breed's eyes glowing with anger. "Whatever it is, I don't want to hear it. Now leave me alone." "But I said leave me the hell alone!" Rocky screamed, growling while showing his teeth, cutting the Dalmatian off with his words. Marshall gave a defeated sigh. "Okay," he said sadly, and he walked off with his head lowered. Rocky just sat there, thinking of what he had just said to Zuma and Marshall, but he couldn't think clearly because his anger had taken over his mind. It would have been better if Zuma was never in the Paw Patrol, Rocky thought to himself. Maybe a nice walk would have calmed him down. Rocky got up and started walking down the street. When he got down the street, he heard a voice whispering, "Psst! Hey, dog!" "Huh? Who said that?" Rocky said, looking around. "Over here," the voice said. Rocky turned to a tree and saw a man peeking his head out from behind it. The man had a long black suit and a top hat and black pants and dress shoes. "Who are you?" asked Rocky. "I am Pierre," the man said with a French accent. I've heard you had a hard time with your friend. Wait, how did you know about that? Asked Rocky with an emotion mixed with fear and confusion. Oh, I've always known, said Peri. I'm everywhere, and I know what will make you feel better. He pulled out a watch and started waving it in front of the mixed breed's face. You're getting sleepy, mon ami. When I snap my fingers, you will fall asleep and dream of every great moment you've had with your best friend. Paris snapped his finger and Rocky fell asleep. Nighty-night, Paris said as he started giggling evilly. Rocky woke up, but he was in a different area. He was in a forest, and it was around nighttime at around 10. Huh? Where am I? Said Rocky, getting up, yawning and stretching his legs. That's weird, he said to himself. I don't remember falling asleep here. He started walking, calling for anybody who might help him. Hello? Is anybody out here? And there was no answer. The only thing Rocky could hear was his voice echoing from around him. Ryder? Pups? Anybody? Still no answer. Rocky was starting to get a little freaked out. But then he got an idea. Maybe if he kept walking, he'd find his home. With that, Rocky started walking, trying to find a way out of the forest. After about what felt like an hour, Rocky's paws were hurting. Maybe I should take a rest, he thought to himself. But before he could sit down and rest his paws, he saw the town of Adventure Bay. Rocky gasped in joy. Yeah! I found home! I better go apologize to Zuma. Rocky was annoyed that he had to walk again, but he was also happy to see his beloved home. When he got to the town, he noticed something strange. The town looked a little odd. Cars were toppled over with broken windows and mirrors. The buildings were crumbled, and there were messages on the windows that said, "Help us. There's no escape. Run while you still can." But that wasn't the weirdest part. The weirdest part was that the town was completely deserted. Nobody or no pup in sight. Where the heck is everybody? Rocky said to himself out loud. But then something caught the corner of Rocky's eye. It was a strange glow. A bright light that anybody could see from almost a mile away. Rocky turned to the light and then he felt his heart drop. Right in front of him, in the distant lookout itself, was the tower erupting in flames. Rocky stared in horror as the lookout was being devoured by hundreds of flames. This can't be happening! It can't be! Said Rocky, stuttering with complete shock. It's just a nightmare, Rocky. It's just a nightmare. Everything will be... He stopped when he heard the crumbling pieces of the lookout falling to the ground, the fire crackling as loud as you could hear it from miles away. Oh my God, I gotta save Ryder and the pups, Rocky said to himself. Then he darted like he had never ran before. He didn't care how bad his paws were hurting now. The only thing he knew and was important was his friends. When he got to the lookout, he could feel the fire warming his fur as if he were in an oven. Guys, it's me, Rocky. I'm here to save you. No answer. Rocky started to panic. Please, somebody, anybody, answer, please, don't be dead, he said, trying to hold back the tears. But suddenly, Rocky knew what to do. I'll put out the fire, and then I'll see if anybody in the lookout, if they're okay. He thought of him using the water made the mixed breed shake with disgust, but he had no choice. He had to save his friends. He ran over to Marshall's pup house, or at least what was left of it, and he got Marshall's firefighter gear. Don't get me wet, he thought to himself. Ruff! Ruff! Water cannon! The pup pack instantly changed into a water cannon. Water cannon spray! Shouted Rocky. Then the cannon started spraying water in the burning location. Rocky struggled hard, but the fire was too high and strong. Damn it! He said to himself in frustration. Then he got another idea. He went to Marshall's pup house that was halfway burned down, but still in use. Rocky grabbed the house and turned it on, and water came spraying out of it. The force of the water nearly made Rocky fall to the ground, but luckily, the water had enough strength to put out the fire. Rocky rubbed sweat off of his forehead. Whew! Glad that's over. Now I need to find my friends. As soon as Rocky got near the entrance to the lookout, he saw what damage the fire had done. What used to be a tall building was now just a halfway burnt piece of charcoal. Rocky stepped inside the lookout with no need of using the convertible door because the building was a crisp. Guys? Where are you? It's me, Rocky. Are you all alright? No answer. Oh no, where are they? Rocky was starting to panic, tears filling his eyes. Please, somebody answer! He said through tears that were dripping down his face. Then Rocky heard a faint cough, a cough that sounded inches away from him. Hello? Stammered Rocky. He couldn't see anyone through the pitch blackness of what used to be the lookout. Rocky wanted to find out who was still in the lookout. Anyone who needed his help. He looked around for anything that he could help him to see who was still there. Luckily, he found a flashlight laying on the floor. Claw! Rocky called out with a worried and fast panicked tone. He turned on the flashlight and shone it around the dark room. Then he saw an outline of something in the corner. Hello? Ryder, is that you? He took a few steps to see what the figure was, and then he got close. He felt like he was going to vomit. Right in front of him was the lifeless body of Ryder. His arm broken and both of his eyes gone, and bloodstains all over his face and clothing. That wasn't the only gut-wrenching thing, though. Laying beside Ryder were the severed heads of the pups, excluding Zuma. No. No! This can't be happening! It can't be! Rocky exclaimed in a shaky and shrill voice. Rocky immediately broke down crying, tears streaming down his face. Rocky cried a river, utterly in shock and in complete heartbreak seeing that his friends were dead. Rocky then looked up, his face stained with tears. He noticed blood on the wall. Above his deceased friends, it was a message. Rocky rubbed his eyes and squinted at the message. His jaw dropped in the message, which read, "Death is upon us." Rocky felt terrified. He wanted to find some place to hide, a safe place for him to go, away from this nightmare, and away from this fucking hellhole. Then Rocky heard a small, faint groan of what sounded like a child. He shined the flashlight in the direction of where the groan came from. And what caught Rocky's eye made his fur stand on end. He saw the half-alive body of a chocolate Labrador laying badly bruised and bleeding rather profusely. Zuma? The dark outline of Zuma's motionless body on the ground sent chills down Rocky's spine. He didn't know what to do. He was shaking too much from fear that seeing his friend badly beaten to a pulp. Rocky ran over to the half-breathing Labrador. Zuma! It's me, Rocky! He said, shaking Zuma. Rocky? He said, his voice quiet and froggy. Oh, thank God, Rocky said with a smile of relief. What the heck happened? He asked. A monster. He looked like a man, but he wasn't. Rocky's eyes widened with shock. Wait, well, what about that message on the wall? He asked. Zuma grimaced as he tried to move. His whole body was filled with pain. He used white as blood. That's the only thing I remember before I blacked out. He killed them all. All of them. Zuma's low and groggy voice was now trembling. Tears fell down the chocolate Labrador's face as he looked up at a worried and heartbroken Rocky. Don't worry, Zuma. I'm gonna help. Rocky, look out! Interrupted Zuma. Huh? Before Rocky could turn around, he felt a strong force at the back of his head, knocking him completely unconscious. Rocky woke up. Huh? Where am I? He tried to move, but noticed he was chained against the wall. Well, not just any wall. It was a wall of what seemed to be a dungeon. What? Where the hell am I? Let me the fuck go! He panicked, squirming hard, trying to get out of his chains. Oh, my dear Rocky, there's no need to panic, a voice said soft and calmly. Who, who's there? Show yourself, bitch! Rocky screamed. He saw a silhouette of a man, but when the man reached into view, Rocky's eyes widened in utter shock when he saw the familiar face of a man smirking maliciously at him. No, no, Rocky sputtered. It can't be you. It can't be. Pri? That's right, Rocky. Didn't expect it to be me, huh? He said, still grinning. Why am I chained? What are you doing to me? Rocky asked, panicking. Pierre laughed. Let's just say you're in for a treat. Rocky's eyes went wide. What? What does that mean? He asked. Pierre didn't answer. Instead, he walked over to a dark corner of the dungeon. Don't worry. I brought the visitor along. Lights, silver splat, Paris said in French, and with the clap of his hands, torches suddenly lit up. Then Rocky felt like his heart was about to jump out of his mouth. Zuma, no, no, Rocky stammered. Right across from him was Zuma, laying unconscious on a torture table, chained up. I brought him here for you to say your final goodbyes to each other, starting with him. Don't you dare touch him! Rocky yelled angrily through gritted teeth. I swear to God, if you lay one finger on him, I'll kill you! I'll fucking kill you! Pierre let out another nasty laugh. That was a good one, Rocky. Really, but let me ask you one question. Suddenly, Pierre's voice became distorted. Can you kill this? Suddenly, Pierre's eyes turned into a glowing red. His teeth became sharp fangs. His fingers became sharp claws, as sharp as 5 knives. Then he started to grow, taller and taller until he was around 8 feet tall. Now, he said in his same voice, it's time for my snack. Rocky felt his blood run cold. He had never been so terrified in his life. Pierre began to walk to Zuma and grabbed the chain and pulled it off with a swift motion. Zuma regained consciousness and stared in complete fear at Pierre's horrific face. No, not you again. I thought I managed to escape you before you tried to eat me. Zuma's fear was now mixed with anger. My friends tried to stop, but you killed them. I managed to hide from you, even though all the pain, I still managed to escape you. I'll never forgive you for what you've done. Pierre let out an evil laugh. If it could kill anyone that heard it, it would have. Strong words from a wimpy pup. Pierre's smile faded. But you are the most annoying thing on this entire shitty place you call home. Go to hell! Zuma growled. Pierre laughed the nasty laugh once again. Me? Go to hell? That's a good one, Zuma, but where do you think I'm from? Pierre asked with a scoff. Now, Pierre started, time for my dinner. He started to raise Zuma to his mouth, showing his sharp and yellowed teeth, but stopped when Zuma was 3 inches away from his mouth and said, You remind me of chocolate. I love chocolate. He rose Zuma towards his mouth. No! Stop! Yelled Rocky. But it was too late. Pierre already took a chomp off of Zuma's back legs. Zuma let out a blood-curdling cry of pain and agony as blood squirted from where his legs used to be, showing it ripped skin tissue and bone. Pierre, stop! Rocky's fear was now turning into anger. Pierre was still chewing, and then swallowed and spoke. Tastes nice, but I could use a little sauce on the side. Pierre then took another bite out of Zuma, this time from his stomach. Zuma's blood-curdling yelp sent tears streaming down Rocky's face. Tears of horror and tears of anger. Tears were falling from Zuma's face as well as he was losing blood at rapid pace. Stop, please, Zuma managed to grunt. Pierre stared down at Zuma with a scowl. If you don't shut your little fucking mouth, I'll make your death even more painful, do you understand? He said with pure fury. You've already given me enough pain, Zuma said through gritted teeth, but with a weak and dying voice. All right, I warned you, Pierre said. Then he grabbed Zuma by the head and with his claws dug into the Labrador's skin. Zuma screamed louder than ever, a scream that made Rocky's anger rise. Pierre, stop it! Rocky yelled. Shut the hell up, you silver little twat! Pierre said angrily. Then with one strong pull, Pierre ripped Zuma's head right off of his shoulders, making a loud ripping sound that sounded like paper being torn apart. No! Zuma! Rocky yelled with complete and utter shock. That's what happens when you don't shut the fuck up, Pierre said. Then he chomped down on Zuma's severed head and threw the Labrador's lifeless body down to the ground. Rocky's eyes followed the headless body of Zuma falling to the ground. The body fell on the stone ground with a loud thud. As Rocky stared down at the body, he had a vision of his parents and brothers being shot and killed as a young and defenseless Rocky stared with terror, tears falling down his eyes as he hid in a tight space, hiding from the heartless, disgusting man who murdered his family. The vision ended, and Rocky felt a feeling that he felt towards Zuma. Rage. A rage Rocky had never felt before in his life. You're gonna pay for that! Rocky screamed at the top of his lungs. He had never felt so angry in his life. He squirmed, trying to break free from the chains. After a few good tugs, he finally broke the chain and landed on his paws and stared up at Pierre, breathing and growling in the same time. You ruthless, heartless bastard! Rocky was seeing complete red. His eyes looked like they had changed from being brown to ruby red. Pierre laughed. You're so pathetic, he scoffed. Even when you're mad, you're still weak. This made Rocky's rage rise. Shut up! You killed my friend, and now it's time for you to die! Pierre laughed again, but his laugh faded as he saw a green aura begin to appear around Rocky. The mixed breed's eyes now had no pupils. I warned you, Rocky snarled. If you happen to lay a finger on Zuma, I'd kill you. Now get ready, Pierre. Your death is going to be quick and painful. You think a weak little pup like you can kill me? Pierre scoffed. Don't make me laugh. I've had enough of your pathetic jokes for one day. And I've had enough of putting up with your evil shit for one day, Rocky screamed. Pierre then spoke. If it's a fight you want, then it's a fight you'll get. He grabbed Rocky tightly with both hands and began to squeeze him, but Rocky bit Pierre's arm, causing the monster to drop Rocky and let out a cry of agony. Ah, you bastard! Pierre was now pissed, but Rocky was angrier. Pierre grabbed at Rocky again, but Rocky was quicker. He bit Pierre's leg, causing it to ooze out glowing red blood. Pierre grabbed his leg, and Rocky ran towards Pierre, pushing the 8-foot-tall monster back with great force, causing him to stumble back and fall down a ravine with magma at the bottom. But as Pierre began to fall, he grabbed the floor with both of his hands, dangling from the ground, trying not to fall. Rocky walked over to where Pierre was, and with the great force, he stomped his paw down on Pierre's hand. Rocky grinned as he heard Pierre's bones crack. Pierre yelled out with agony. Pierre started to speak. Wait, Rocky, please don't hurt me. I'm sorry, I won't hurt you anymore. Rocky could see the fear in Pierre's eyes. It was rare for a monster to be scared, but for Pierre, it was different. Rocky lowered his head around to Pierre and growled in his face. Sorry, Pierre, but it's too late now. You've already killed my friends. They were my family. I love them with every ounce of my being. Rocky raised his other paw and then his voice. I will never forgive you! Then Rocky's paw slammed into Pierre's skull, causing Pierre to fall into the deep, bottomless pit. As Pierre was burning, he said his last words, "Death is upon us." And with that, Pierre sank down into the lava, leaving nothing but fire floating above the surface. Rocky stared down at the orange glowing substance at the bottom of the deep pit. Then he felt his anger start to fade. It's finally over, he thought. He then looked over what was left of Zuma. He then began to sob. Zuma, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, he said through his tears. Then he heard the voices calling out to him. They were saying things like, Rocky, wake up! And, Rocky, are you okay? Just then, Rocky woke up. He found himself in the lookout with all the pups and riders standing around him. Huh? Rocky yawned. Where am I? You're at home, silly, Sky said, laughing. Wait, I'm home? He looked around and let out a happy cry. Oh God, I am home. I missed you guys so much. The pups and Ryder gave Rocky a confused look. Huh? Ryder said. Rocky, it's not like we were gone forever. Sorry, Ryder, I had this crazy dream. Wait, where's Pierre? Rocky said. Pierre? Who's Pierre? Chase asked. I'll explain all that later, Rocky said. Don't worry about it. He then looked over at Zuma. Zuma, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I got mad at you for that. I mean, it's just, you were right. It was just a game. I completely overreacted. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Zuma smiled. That's okay, Rocky. I'm sorry too. For what? Rocky asked. Getting mad at you. Everyone laughed. I'm gonna go play some soccer. Waste ya? Zuma said, running. Oh, you're on, Rocky said with confidence. And all the pups had a fun game of soccer. Zuma used a Zuma-wific kick and scored, but this time Rocky didn't get angry. Nice shot, Rocky said. Thanks, Zuma said. And with that, they had a relatively great day that day, not knowing a certain man was watching from behind a tree. You may have outsmarted me, Rocky, but next time I'll make sure that death is upon you and your friends. And with that, he let out a quiet and evil laugh. And that, my little shadows, was Paw Patrol Creepypasta, Death is Upon Us. A Paw Patrol Creepypasta, written by none other than SirHorror. My final thoughts on the story? That was fucking everything right there. Like, I'm not joking when I say this, people. This was a really damn good Paw Patrol creepypasta. I mean, I'm not going to deny the fact that there weren't some grammatical mistakes, but the way that the story played out, oh my god, people. This was downright beautiful. I mean, I don't get why SirHorror thought this was a not that good of a story. I thought this was fucking awesome. This is by far one of my favorite Paw Patrol creepypastas. Like, genuinely speaking. I love the way that all of this went out. And, you know, before some people might claim that it's unrealistic, people do tend to get pissed off at some of the simplest of things. But at the same time, though, I genuinely did like the message itself. Basically, what it kind of was, this guy Pierre was the one who ultimately made Rocky himself realize the error of his ways, although in a really bloody, fucked up, and screwed up kind of way. But honestly, I liked it a lot. And another thing too that I liked was the fact that, like the pacing. The pacing was really damn good. I like the fact that it was all just so well dealt with, so well made, so just downright amazing. I don't have a whole lot of words to say, but I loved everything about the story. And normally I'm a crazy grammar Nazi, but honestly, I'm so impressed by how the story went out. I'm so genuinely amazed and kind of freaked out too about how well this was all made, that I think I'm willing to kind of, let this one go. It's a very rare exception, but I'm gonna let the grammar thing go because the story itself was just downright beautiful. I mean, I liked it. I better yet, I loved it. SirHorror, you did a damn good job making a really interesting Paw Patrol creepypasta. Like, you really did a very good job with that, and I'm proud of you for making this. You deserve every ounce of subs and views and everything because of this story. Because honestly, SirHorror, you deserve every ounce of them. You did a really darn good job with this creepypasta, dude. Now, if I had any criticisms or anything to say of the story, this one's kind of obvious, but the grammar. Now, like I said, I'm willing to let that all go because of how well the story is. But a little bit of a tip for the next time, run it through maybe Google Docs or something. In fact, that would probably be a better option to do before you put it on any like sharing site like fanfiction or Wattpad or any of those kind of things. And not just with SirHorror, but with anybody. Run it through Google Docs or use Word or something. And, try and fix as many of the errors as you possibly can. As many as you are able to. And not only that, but, sit on the story itself. Don't literally do that, but, look over it a little bit and find any kind of errors that there might be. Now, if it's a story or something that you only have intentions of narrating and never posting, which is what I do, then grammar really isn't that big of a deal, unless, unless you're me. But still, it's always something interesting, but yeah. Just, try and work a little bit better with the grammar, because I did see a lowercase I there, and I'm not going to go off. I've made a mention of it, so I have no reason to. But please try and, at least put it through there. That way it can show that there's some grammar, checks and things like that. That's just me, though. That's a little bit of advice I can give. But yeah, this is a great story, but like I'm going to say before, like I always say, this is simply my own personal opinion, and if you disagree with it, that's perfectly fine too. We're all entitled to our own opinions in regards to these creepypastas, and this is simply just my own thoughts. My final rating of the story is a 9.5 out of 10. It's an amazing concept, a great creepypasta, very weird, very creepy, very freaking. I genuinely love this story a lot. However, the grammar just puts it down by a bit, not by much, hence the reason it's a 9.5, but the grammar definitely could have been improved on a lot more. But, of course, I'm not going to rant about it, because I don't feel like ranting about it. I've already made a mention of it, but still, despite all of that, though, the story was very well made. It deserves a lot more attention, especially on SirHorror's channel. I'll be making sure to link his narrations to the series itself for anybody who's wondering, who wants to listen to his narration of it. He's a really good narrator. Go and check him out. Go subscribe to him if you haven't. And, just give him views, give him likes, really, let's help this guy out. He's really doing what he can. He's taking inspiration from me and the Dark Reindeer and other people. And you know what? I want to help him out with that inspiration. And I want you guys to do that too. But yeah, like I said, What did you guys think about this creepypasta? Did you guys enjoy it? Did you guys not? Also, what would you have personally done to help make the story a lot better? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. I'm the Shadow Reader. Thanks again for watching today's episode, and like always, roll the outro because I'm out. In fear and surprise, as your eyes widen, your mouth goes dry with each battered breath. You try to scream, your mind begs to thee, glued to your computer screen. The killers they slash, the tapes burn and crash. The cartridge you bought will be your final haunt. The rituals of hate will seal your fate. The tears you shed will be from the fear-gripping horror-driven nightmarish gore-filled, terrorizing, hateful, burning, violent, rage-inducing, knife-slashing, blood-splattering, silent screams. Only time will tell if you will escape this online hell. Your horror-filled obsessions will come with its own regressions. Your pathetic screams will not be heeded in any way, because your nightmares will come at any day.